Hello class, this is going to be a little tutorial for WBG 410 iLab1 and this is going to be to set up your my DeVry portfolio account. I realized that the stuff we did in class, it was all well and good and we all got it working, but it doesn't mean you're going to remember every little detail and every little step of the way. And I think the iLab doesn't really give you a good step-by-step guide, although that's what I followed to set it up, and took a little trial and error to get through everything, but I think we've done it enough times that I've memorized it, and if I think these steps will make a little more sense to you if I go through them here. I'm gonna open up Dreamweaver CS5. I got 5.5 open. Let me close that. I want to just make sure I'm consistent. In the meantime, let's see here. MyDeVryPortfolio.com. So you log in here with your email. Oops, no, log in here. That's stupid looking. Sorry about that. This is where I'm usually told that I'm breaking the fourth wall, where I talk to the audience about my opinions, and which I'm doing again. I just can't stop doing that. Anyway, products and services once you log in. When you're in products and services, you see your account. It should say free. It's got a black button. You push it, and you continue on. Okay? And then one more time, another button. Log into cPanel, your control panel. Okay, well that loads up. What we're going to do here is you're going to create a new FTP account. Now, although you don't really need to do a new FTP account every single time. It's going to be kind of tedious. At least you're creating a new folder for every project you do, which is good to have. You don't want just to keep overriding your old stuff. And then you don't need a new FTP account to do that every time. You could just log into the original, use an FTP software like FileZilla or CyberDuck to do that. But since we're using Dreamweaver, we're going to be using Dreamweaver as a testing server, or using Dreamweaver with a testing server. It's really important that you do it this way, or else you're not going to be able to view your websites in Dreamweaver properly when we get into PHP. Because you can't just load PHP up on your computer. You need to have a server, whether it's a local or remote, and we're using remote. So I'm going to go to FTP accounts. Okay, I'm going to add an FTP account. You see I have a couple from last time. I have my test one that I did before the class. I had the actual one we did in class. And I'll do another one. Why not? And this will be the folder name again. So I'm going to call it WBG 410 iLab. I'll keep it all lowercase. iLab1 example. It's kind of long, I know, but I'm going to copy it so I remember. I'm going to make a password for it. I'll just do something really generic. I'm going to take a look at the folder name. That's it. It's going to be unlimited. Create FTP account. Remember your password. Okay, it's now created, and it should pop up right here. Configure FTP client. This is where I take all this wonderful info. Oh, that's not it. Example, here we go. Configure FTP client. I'm going to copy this info. Copy. And I'm going to paste it into Microsoft Word. So it's all here and ready to go. I'm going to put in my password, which I just made a generic DeVry123. Okay, so this is my username, this whole deal. And then I have the ftp.jaggressifact.DeVry portfolio. And then I'm going to need to throw in the folder name for the URL. So let's go over to Dreamweaver. Okay, we're going to need to define a new site. I'm going to call this WBG 410 iLab1 example. I got to find a folder for it. So I'll just create a new folder really quick in my week one. It's going to be WBG 410 iLab1 example. I got like 10 of these now. And then choose. Okay? Then we're going to go to servers. Then I'm going to hit the plus sign. This is where we fill out our server thing. Once again, WBG 410 iLab1 example. You see, sometimes I put spaces, sometimes I don't. Where it's important, I don't put spaces. This is just a name. This is for us to read it. Okay, it's not a big deal. But the addresses, the folder names, the URL, those are important. I'm just sticking with lowercase for, the sake of keeping consistent. So I'm going to grab, I'm gonna grab my server, the address. Come on. Getting a little pinwheel of death here. Alright. Let's make sure there's no funny spaces around it. The username is going to be all this. Control C. For some reason, it doesn't like copying and pasting from there. Okay. I put in my password. Oops, keep putting my normal one in. DeVry123. Save. Test. Should be like a second. Passive FTP, blah, 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 blah. What happened? Why did you not work? Okay, so I've got to get rid of this FTP dot here. I thought I was going to do that afterwards, but you get rid of the FTP dot, and then I need to put the folder name after it. So it's WBG 410, what do I call it? iLab1 example. Come on. It's a little tedious. WBG 410 iLab1 example. And then test. I don't know why it wouldn't be working. Select or deselect checkbox to click to try again if you're connecting, blah, 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 blah. Toggling the US to establish a connection. Oh, server model, PHP MySQL. I don't know why this wouldn't be working. I mean, everything's exact. Let me debug. I'll come right back. Okay. As you can see, I've got the connected to your web server successfully. I didn't read the error message. It said toggle use passive FTP and see if that works, and I did, and it did. So I don't know why this time it had to. Maybe it's because I'm logging in remotely from home and not on the DeVry network. That's possible. So just keep that in mind. Hit the more options, and you can check that if it gives you that error. So now I did the test, and it works. So to review, give it a name. This is just going to show up over here. FTP dot and then your name dot mydevryportfolio.com. The username is that folder name that you created, that account name you created, at, and then all your stuff, the password you created, and then the URL has to be precise as well. Get rid of the FTP dot and put the folder name at the end. It's just a file system on the server. You've got to be aware of these things. I turned on the use passive to work from home. Seemed to work. Can do another test. Beautiful. Okay. Then you have to go to advanced. Make sure you have PHP MySQL. Okay, not going to really matter for this assignment, but it's good to have. Hit OK. We're going to make sure you check testing. If you don't, it don't work. Testing. Advanced settings. Blah, blah, blah. I don't think we need any of this other stuff. I always feel like I'm missing a step even when I'm not. Okay, hit save. Alright, so there's our folder. It's in my appropriate folder. I'm just going to create a new HTML document to do a test. HTML, come on, wake it up. Okay, so I'll just call this same old stuff, WBG 410 iLab1 examples. Just make that into a nice big H1 here. All right. So I'm just putting some stuff in here. Super. I'll save this. It's going to go to the right folder, index.html, all lowercase. That's what the server's looking for. You don't have to call it index, of course, but that will be the default name for the home page. Save. Now, when I test, it'll upload because we set it as a testing server. See, it's connecting. It'll ask you if you want to put the pendant files, all that good stuff. If you notice my web URL, it's my actual whole URL with the folder name and then the file inside that folder. And there it is. That's it. Off the top of my head. I'll give myself a pat on the back. Good luck. Do it. As long as you have an internet connection and you can, just make sure you get past that little hiccup that I had there, and maybe you have to do that passive FTP. If you ever need to get back into it, you can go to Site, Manage Sites. You can double click on the drop down over here on the right, double click, and it'll bring up your stuff. Here it is. Make sure you have testing, You know, everything's good. The only difference that we didn't do in class was the use passive FTP. It might just be because I'm doing it at home and I'm not on the DeVry server. If you get it to work, don't mess with it, just do it. Okay? Alright, now if you already have a folder created for your template that you built, you don't have to create a new folder when you go to the site, new site. Just get to that folder, and then all your files will be there ready to go. Alright, good luck. I will see you in class on Monday.